Good drive by.
2:34 p.m. Friday, July 24th. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Is he just building up his courage to come to the next meeting, or what are we doing?
He came to get some information for the city.
Saw me and left.
And he's gone.
Drive-by accounting.
Are there any additions or corrections to the agenda?
The only thing that was added since I sent it out last night is the NDSU extension.
I got an email from
Leslie.
yesterday.
Did we all?
I think just Samantha and I, because, was it yesterday I was in your office? Day before?
She'd left a message like a week before.
Wednesday.
That
I stopped
he's
in.
gonna tour the area or something.
Yeah, I stopped in and talked to Samantha that day, and I was just wondering where they were at in the process.
Yeah,
So she emailed Leslie, and then Leslie emailed her and CC'd me.
And then sent that other one that's in the back page or whatever out to everybody.
Right. The next day.
Yep.
Okay, anything?
Motion to approve the agenda is presented.
Motion by Dale to approve the agenda, is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Mark, is there any discussion? Any discussion? Any further discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor, say aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. If you had a chance to look at the July 10th meeting minutes. Get a little lost in those long paragraphs.
I got it, I'm fixing it. So, first paragraph. There was also discussion on the extension agent candidate that Griggs County got and the salary associated with the position with the qualification of the candidate. So
That's a mouthful.
Let's change it to there was discussion on the extension agent candidate and the salary associated with that position, period. Because in the next paragraph, Mark makes a motion to offer the candidate $55,000 salary. So that gets all.
Okay.
And I see you got that right. I objected to that.
Yep. Got you.
You were pretty consistent that day.
I think I caught them all.
We were put here for one reason, to control the finances of Griggs County. boys. Remember the old adage, you're not supposed to have to take a breath when reading a sentence.
I know.
If you do, put a period there. Oofta.
Do you guys get the paper?
Why do you ask?
Are these getting in there?
You gotta look way back into legal things, and then they're probably 2 months behind.
Got one.
End of page 4.
Page 4. Got it.
Women opened the floor to discuss the shredding, probably should be document shredding.
Okay.
And then Auditor Larson reported the county received a cheaper quote, period. Get rid of from a different business. And get rid of there was discussion on the process, and leave the commission doesn't have a preference and left it on who does it, get rid of that, and left the decision up to Auditor Larson.
Okay. Good deal. Thank you.
So it should now read, Chairman Olson opened the floor to discuss this document shredding. Auditor Larson reported that the county received a cheaper quote. The commission doesn't have a preference and left the decision up to Auditor Larson.
Got it.
Okay. Troy, you better have a go at fixing page 5 on the support forms. Maybe you better explain what that are. It sounds like we're improving some undergarments or something.
We expressed our support for a variance to the city ordinance,
Zoning ordinance, yeah.
to allow a greenhouse to go in across the street from the courthouse on a residential lot.
And a bed and breakfast. B&B. Right?
Well, there's 2 of them, sure. I don't think the average Joe would know what we were talking about.
Right. Should I say like open the floor to discuss the support forms for the old Cooper house? And then say that,
Sure. The commission voiced no objection to a variance changing
Residential
a
property
residential
into
to
a
commercial
B&B
property.
okay.
Yeah, yeah.
and a commercial greenhouse.
And list the block number.
Okay.
That's fine.
Okay. You got it.
Mhm.
make a motion to approve the July 10th minutes
With corrections.
with corrections
Dispense.
and dispense. All that stuff.
And the second.
You second? It's been moved by Sean, or Mark, seconded by Sean to approve the
July 10th.
July 10th meeting minutes as amended and dispense with the reading. Is there any discussion? Any discussion? Any further discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Move on to the bills. Not really many of them this time.
No, there wasn't. We have two add-ons. One is for KLJ for $938.91, and that was for the Decker Bridge inspection. And then one for the North Dakota Department of Transportation for $942.64 for the seal coat on number 2.
Okay. See, the publishing and printing bill is really small. Is there something that's not getting printed that's supposed to be?
I don't think so. The meeting minutes? They haven't been in there?
I don't know. I had somebody ask me about it. I told them I'd check.
Okay. Yeah, let's check into that.
So you, like on Monday now, you'll send these approved ones?
The meeting minutes, yep.
Okay.
Yep. Usually I try and send them like right now, but then if I have to go back in the meeting minutes, then I'll send them on either Monday or at least it's got to be there before noon on Tuesday.
I'm just asking because I don't look for them in the paper, so I don't know. if they're
Right.
getting
No,
them.
usually I try and send them as we're sitting in here.
Okay. Any questions on the bills?
Is page 9 a bill?
No. It's a proposal. I already asked that question
Yep.
off the record.
Yep. Well, that's for budget discussion.
No.
Motion to approve the bills as presented with the addition of KLJ for $938.91 and North Dakota DOT for $942.64.
Second.
Been moved by Dale and seconded by Sean to approve the expenditures with the addition of KLJ and the North Dakota Department of Transportation. Is there any discussion? Any discussion? Any further discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. John?
Aye.
Dale?
He said aye.
You did? Mark?
Aye.
Sean?
Aye.
Troy votes aye. Motion carries. My chair must have squeaked at the same time. Or we're going to do budget next.
Right, so
Wayne, did you guys get over the county system with our good moisture now?
Not everything.
That Macville Road is pounded out.
More moisture coming, sounds like, maybe. We had several washouts again, so. On the Anderson Road, after that 3 inches.
I heard that. And I know I'm not on the agenda, but I got a request from Kent Levan for any disaster damages we had from the June 30th to July 1st rains on February Road, so I will submit some damages. First thing by Tuesday.
Budget.
On page.
Or do you need to finish typing something?
No.
Oh. Okay.
No. Finish what?
Oh, I didn't notice you were typing until I looked over there.
Oh, you're fine. Just to start out, page 9, we would like to request a little pay increase on top of the 1.6 cost of living. Last meeting we discussed the county taking over the health insurance, and a comment was made that you guys didn't really want to take over the health or any benefits. You'd be more possibly willing to look at salary or wage increases. When we looked at the increase in what health insurance is going to go, that's how we came up with we are requesting $300 a month extra, and that's for a full-time employee. And then I did it for 4/5. I did the fraction of that, and then Jamie's would be different, and then Dennis's. So I didn't know what all the information you guys needed, so this is kind of the information that I could come up with. But yeah, that's our proposal.
I made that comment, by the way, John. Connie?
You to accept that. I just wanted to stress the fact that, we have gotten the cost of living increases, but we haven't had a real salary boost or wage boost just to keep and retain the employees we have. There's a big cost to training, and, when somebody comes in, they don't want to be told, well, I don't really know, I'm new here, you'll have to come back when somebody knows the answer, or I'll look for the answer and let you know. We just really think that it would help to show appreciation to the employees that are here. I don't think it would be a levy increase because there's already money available. So that's just where I'm coming from.
Explain to me the health insurance part of it. How does the increase?
We were saying the increase between that 20% that the health insurance is going to go up for one of our employees when she pays her family health insurance. It's going to come down where she's going to have to pay the county because it's going up so much.
Yeah,
and we're the cost of living isn't.
So we figured the increase, if it goes up 20%, the increase for a family policy would be about $350 a month for an employee. So we're not asking to cover, the whole thing either. And we're not really asking you to cover health insurance. We're asking for a show of an appreciation for an employee.
So you're gonna use the pay increase to cover your increase in the health insurance then?
No, it's not there. It's an increase in the family health insurance. We cover that. We cover the increase in a single policy, correct?
Correct.
And we've said that we don't think we should pay for the family policy. So it would be to cover the family policy, which is an option for the employees. So really that's a non-issue because the commission said that we don't think we should cover the family policies, and now you're asking, and the employee you're talking about is an option. She optionally takes that family coverage, and that's going up, and that's her option. If it's still worthwhile to her or him, then it should be covered. So that argument part of it, I don't think.
We pay a full family, or a full single, right? So the county takes the hit for the total, and that's gonna go up
20%.
If it goes up 20%,
So,
the county covers it.
$160. What's a single right now?
7.3.
So 20% would be
It's 140.
140, 50, somewhere in there.
But the county's gonna cover a whole,
Oh,
the
absolutely.
whole thing,
No,
you know.
I'm trying to get my head around this.
Okay, so,
And we're not, I wanna stress again, we're not really asking for the increase to cover the insurance. We're asking it for it because there really hasn't been a show of appreciation for the last several years. We've gotten the cost of living, which is not much, basically.
No, but it can't be.
It can be, yes. But for most of the employees, I would say the lower layer tier, maybe, it isn't much of an increase for them. And we really want to keep them. The road guys and the deputies. Yes.
$300 a month is almost $2 an hour. That's a lot.
well, I mean, let's be realistic about this. Yes, you really wanna keep them, but there is a certain segment of the population who pays their wages that believes that there's too many people working here. So it isn't just because one segment of the population believes that we want more or to maintain this, there are a number of people that think the opposite.
Yes, but what
And-
they believe and what is true are two different things.
Well, the people that believe the opposite certainly believe what they believe is true. And they're entitled to their opinion, you're entitled to yours. I don't think we've been unfair. We've been giving a standard increase, the same as somebody on Social Security, the same as a veteran gets, the same as everybody else. There's no appreciation showed to them by the taxpayers. I don't know why we single out county employees for that perk. We have been across the board equitable in we haven't been deciding between us what the increase is. We've been leaving it up to what the cost of living increase is for everybody else that receives government dollars. And I don't think there's any more fair way to do that.
And we're not stuck on asking for 300. We'd like to see some kind of increase besides the 1.6.
300 is an 8% increase.
Yes.
Pretty huge.
But we've already given an increase here. It's already in here. And
Don't most employers give salary increases to their,
State doesn't.
huh? State does.
When I worked at Shine Valley, we
Well,
used
the last 4
cost of
years I
living.
had a 0%, a 0%, a 0%, and a 2%.
No, that's not what the road department, or the highway department
Bullshit.
does.
If they're state employees, that's what.
4%, 3%, yeah.
again,
That was the
we leave it up
legislators that
to
did
a
that.
power way above us on what the increase is gonna be. And when one day when that becomes 9 or 10%, I assume we're still gonna stick with it. Because that day is coming. I mean, when inflation hits, and that will come. So there's a bunch of people that are on Social Security and are receiving different forms of government payments that have to live with the same increases or decreases. I don't know why we're any different here. That's my take on it.
Don't scold them. They're just asking. You don't have to say yes.
I didn't get it.
Don't scold us, we're just asking.
No, I know. Well, after asking for a certain number of times, it gets a little redundant, doesn't it? I thought we already settled on the increase. I thought we were done with that part of the budget.
We were done with the cost of living increase.
Well, I maybe I forgot the vehicle allowance and the fishing allowance and whatever else you want.
I don't agree with it, so you look at the cost of fuel and everything is gonna go up, it's gonna go up more. But
That's what the cost of living increase takes into account, is the cost of living.
I think someone at the last meeting said, if we give this increase to the people that have the family policies, what are we gonna do with the rest of it?
That's correct.
And so instead of the full price of that family policy, then maybe something less for each person.
We didn't give
Besides the one
we
policy.
didn't give the increase to people that have the family policy.
Right.
So that should make, again, that should cancel that whole thing out. We didn't, we didn't do that. I
Well,
guess
we have to try. I still have people making $16.04 an hour, and they could, Foster County was paying $18 and something for a blade operator that they just were hiring to start on. So, all we can do is ask, and all you can do is agree or disagree.
Well, we agree every time that the cost of living increase does to give an increase. I think we've been, I don't think there's been any argument on that. There's a lot of people in the community this year that are earning way less money because of this COVID and the other things going on than they were last year. The farm economy's down. It seems reasonable that those people probably would feel slighted also if their life is going the other way and the taxpayers then are responsible for an increase. I mean, I don't mind you asking, but put that up front in the budget and explain it with an explanation that we don't have dueling explanations. One's health insurance and one's an incentive.
It was just because we talked about the health insurance at the last meeting, and
Well,
that's
when we talk
kind
about a lot of things that aren't related, but all of a sudden they're related. And, you know, I guess I thought this was because I made the comment about the county agent, where I said if we're willing to pay more over the budget for the county agent salary, how are we going to then deal with the employees that don't get a raise?
well, now that you bring that up,
Well, that's what I thought it was. I'm getting all ready to apologize. I really did. That's what I thought it was about. Because I did make that comment, and the minute it came out of my mouth, I thought, well, there you just.
They missed yours and picked up on mine.
It proves what I always thought. No one listens to me anyway.
I was gonna look at what, there's a wage survey on North Dakota Association of Counties, but I couldn't get on because evidently I don't remember the password
okay.
correctly. But that would be something to look at for basing pay, what neighboring counties are for similar positions, if there's a big discrepancy.
And I can send that out to you
You know,
too if I
that
want
would be
to.
some information that would be worthwhile to look at.
Okay, well, we don't have to we're not finalizing the budget today. So,
Thank you for listening.
All right, so if you want to just keep on going on the budget here.
see you later, Wade.
If you want to just start, we could just get general fund finalized and then we can kind of go on to Schedule C. The only things that we haven't done is the IT budget, and Travis was unable to be here again today. Hopefully I can get him at the next meeting, or if you guys just want to go forward with it. I asked if he could be available by phone and he wasn't able to do that either. So if you want to just go through the revenues and then do that, then we should be good on the general
Well,
fund.
don't you have the revenues in here?
The revenues are in there yet, but you guys haven't looked at them.
Okay. So, but before we do that, okay, well, I guess I looked at
That comparison
the
page.
comparison, and well, I looked at, to start with, I looked at Schedule A, page 1, the general fund amount levied $100,000 when last year we levied $470,000, something,
Yeah, I was looking at it on
yeah.
my iPad this morning, there's a lot of things that didn't
There's a
make
lot of
sense.
things, famous Chinese detective, something wrong.
Yeah.
So we need to first of all determine what we've done here. There's three factors that can do this. Either the appropriation was wrong, which I don't think it was because we went through that. The amount carried forward was wrong, too high, or the revenue was too high. That's the three factors that influence that number.
I can't get into it because I have it on the other desktop. I'm just gonna have Maddie X out of it. when I was comparing last year's and this year's, the carryover was about the same
Mm-hmm.
last year.
As well it should have been, because we've been kind of maintaining the same budgets.
Correct.
And the revenue is 486,000, that doesn't seem out of line. You seen anything, Donnie, you look at?
The one thing is that there is no IT in there, so that there's no IT numbers in there. So then that's gonna make that number go up
90,000.
slightly. Yep. And then when I looked, we decreased the reserve by 25,000, or
Yeah, approximately.
just a tish. And then there's no election. That was 25,000 in last year's. So then that brought that down.
We're still looking for 370,000, we're still looking for $370,000.
Mhm. Because there's about,
Did something happen with the regional corrections where that,
I'm in the process of looking into that because all my numbers, I looked at it, and all the numbers are correct. The revenue numbers are correct. The starting balance is correct. I looked into last year's; those numbers are correct. I'm not entirely sure. Regional corrections. Well, this is that year's.
well, I mean, it's evident what's wrong when you look here. Where did the negative balance, I mean, it looks like we've been carrying a negative balance since December 31st of 2019.
Mm-hmm. And that's where I need to do an account history of that. Let me just go in here. Oops.
Did we move a bunch of stuff out of regional corrections back into the sheriff's budget? That's all local, several years ago.
Yeah,
That has consistently, since you did move those out, it's been negative balance all the time because of all the costs for prisoners. Because it's only a 30,000 budget or something like that, isn't it? Something like that.
I think so.
Actually, we've only spent $24,600 in 19. And it looks like we had $10,000 of revenue. I don't know why that big negative balance is in
I
there.
don't know if I'm gonna do an account
It's
history.
$170,000.
Yeah, so the, in the 19 budget, it was proposed to have a $34,000 negative balance. And the actual balance in 17 was negative $4,600. Now, what was the budget in 18? How much was actually spent in regional corrections?
In 18?
Yeah.
Okay. And 18.
The total dollars spent.
Well, there's a revenue account too, I think.
$55,311.
Okay, and we had budgeted in
19.
$30,000 was a supposed total expenditure, so we had that covered then with the levy. So it should have went up by then from 34,000. It should have went then to 54,000. Now what was spent in 19?
But that doesn't take into account the revenue in that. Right?
I'm not talking revenue, I'm only talking
It takes
expenses.
into account, no, it doesn't, it takes into account the tax levy.
In 19, I have $24,615.14.
Yeah, that's on there.
Right.
Actual.
Yeah.
And the expenditures were 30,000, so then we should be down to 48,000 in the whole. And 20 so far we've spent how much?
Mm-hmm. Um, 14,808.50.
And we've had 35,000 in revenue. $34,672.71.
So
Let me do a.
if you look at this on page C31, it's holding pretty close at the 161,000 from 19, 20, and what we're gonna do in 21, which means that it's staying within budget. Where did that balance come from? I don't know. Where did that negative balance come from? I don't know. It didn't come from 7 all the way far as back as 17 because it had almost a positive. It was a $4,600 negative balance in 17. So it didn't come in 18. It had a $34,000 negative balance in 18, and in 19 it shows up with a $161,000 negative balance.
290.
Well, you'll have to find that.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But again, if you just look at the 18 and 19 and look at the progression of it, it's
No, I know,
big
it
jump
look-
is between
yeah.
18 and 19, and I don't know what happened. That's the one that you need to look up. And then the other one is human services. It's the $195,000 levy for human services. don't
Correct.
you?
Yep. And I looked into that after we got off the phone, and I didn't put into a transfer out number, so now I fixed it on here. Where is my budget?
So that probably raised the general levy amount by $195,000, didn't it?
Nope, those numbers are in. So on the human services 2 budget, there is a transfer. 2020 and 2021 up. Okay, we don't. And human services too, there's a transfer out of, and I made this correction before the meeting, but I wanted to show you guys so that you guys were on the same thing as me. The services too. So you guys should have a number in the transfer out, or transfer in, sorry. It's the transfer in of 186,119.24. Then that makes it a balance of 18 cents, and that's what's still in that fund.
So
I know, but I'm-
19, there was a transfer in, right?
Correct.
So the state pays the county and then the county gives that money to the zone? Or to Nelson County?
To Nelson County, we don't see anything.
Because the zone books are up there.
The only income we had at the end of 19 was, back taxes coming in. That's why we have that 18 cents.
Oh, I
So,
see.
so this human services should not be a
Should-
levied account anymore. It
Correct.
should be an in and out account.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. So that's all fixed. It's zero there
So there's an 18-cent balance
in human
in human
services.
services too.
Yep.
That's the only questions I had for now. I'll have a bunch more when we can put the final numbers in here, but go ahead now with what you want to do.
Okay. When I do
And that'll go completely away on Schedule A then, right? That'll be
correct. Yep. Yep.
Zero.
That's gone. Yep. So if you want to just start in the, go through the revenues, B, Schedule B, page 2. Okay. Nothing really has changed there. State aid, I got that number from the email that was sent out from the North Dakota Association of Counties. So that's as good of a guess as I've got, I guess. Next page, Schedule B, page 3.
Question about the estimated revenues on DES, or is that out the window for this year? So that's gonna change that number.
What happened?
The DES
DES.
revenue isn't coming
Oh, yeah.
It's been out there, it's actually been out the window since 2009.
in. We keep
If you want to be
pretending it's-
precise about that,
We keep pretending it's there.
It's there, yeah.
But will we get that straightened out for, can it be a revenue in 21?
No.
No.
No,
No, it hasn't been a revenue. When was the last time we got any DES reimbursement?
I don't know, but it can't be something for 21.
I don't think so. I think it's dependent on what we did in 20, I
Oh,
believe.
oh. So I should take that out.
Because it's a reimbursement.
Oh, I thought it was what we were gonna spend in that year, so that's why I took half
Well,
of what.
possibly, talk to Jamie about that.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that either.
Okay, I'll talk to Jamie.
Did you find a hot CD deal? How come your interest income's gonna go up?
Going up. I haven't seen what numbers she put in.
17,500.
Where's that?
Whoa,
Oh,
what?
based on, I bet it's based on that report I gave you in January, the interest income.
Line 42, page
Actual
3.
2019 was $8,591.
Oh, interest income,
And she's got 17 for, where
17,500.
do you get that number?
I think I called you.
I was giving you the estimate from the report I gave them in January. I think it will be a little more, I'm not saying it won't, I don't think it'll get to 17 though,
No, the CD rates have gone in the tank.
yeah.
Unless
But
you,
on our one bank account, checking account, we're doing a sweeps, where we get more interest now than we did. So that one is bringing a little bit more in, but it's not gonna get to
I
17.
mean, it's gonna be a few $100. It isn't gonna be
Mhm.
10,000.
What would be a more accurate number, do you think?
Well,
I mean, just for budgeting purposes, you could put 10,000 in there probably. Don't you think, Connie?
yeah, it was 85 last time.
Mhm. Just about.
In 19 it was, we don't know what it is in 20.
Right. Yeah, you could put 10 in.
You don't know what the year to
And then
date
we'll
is
be
off.
happily and surprised if it's.
I think what we've always done in the past, we've always used the last known, on all these, for projections, we've always used the last verified amount, so we go back to 19. Is usually that's usually how we've done it, isn't it?
That's usually what I've done for like the mobile homes penalty and interest, that
Right.
kind of thing, yeah.
Yeah.
So if you would like me to do that for that one too, I can.
Just to be standard, and we know when we look at it in the future, why we
Unless
put
that
that.
interest income is including the interest from taxes, from delinquent taxes,
Could be.
then it would possibly,
I think penalties and interest is somewhere else, so
that's.
penalty interest is over on the other
Okay,
page.
it's different.
Mhm.
It's not.
It's on page
Okay.
2.
So,
Okay.
There's a couple thousand in there.
so just to be consistent, so we can know how we came to that number, just make it the same as 19. And we won't have to guess on what we're thinking was.
Okay,
The employees aren't gonna do that Christmas thing anymore?
that's just in and out.
Oh, okay.
We don't put it in the budget,
Okay.
yeah. Cause there's no way that I can show in,
It was in 19's budget.
yeah. Just so that you guys see the actuals, that just makes it so that my bottom number can come out correctly, but you guys don't usually put it in
Okay.
your budget. Yep. So the clerk of court stuff, I took that, all that revenue that we had at the last meeting, I moved that into her.
And you took this expense out too, I see.
Yep, correct, yep. And that all got put into her own, and then so then B4 is that comparison page. And then B5 is a comparison page as well.
So, Yeah, so the decreases in the general expenses came from decreasing the reserve by 35,000 and the courthouse and grounds by 16,000.
And then the election is not in
Yeah,
there
in
as well.
elections, yeah. Right.
But the general expenses are gonna go down by 250,000. That 341,000 is the right number, I think. In the
300 what?
final appropriation.
Yeah,
I don't know where that 156,700 came from.
that's the
that was-
request number, and that's where I left out the reserve number.
Reserve was left out.
I see.
Mm-hmm.
So the actual general expenses are gonna go up over what the last time we knew what they were in 19 was 735,000. We had appropriated 1,098,000 in 2020. We don't know if we're gonna spend all that or not. But that's what we appropriated. So we reduced the appropriation by $100,000 in 21. I still don't see that $100,000 reduction here, Sam, on page 15A. So we've got 23,000 reduction in elections. We've got 35,000, so that's 157, or that's $57,000 reduction. 72,000. I don't see it. Or maybe it carries over into from here somewhere. Hang on here, hang on here. No. Oh, here, if you, no, it carries over, so it is right, it's actually, it's 408,000 and 341,000. This number's wrong at that start here.
Which chart?
Oh, there's the 408, okay. So that's correct. Because we haven't put the information, you have information technology in here, and we have the insurance in here. Information technology at a lesser amount. Okay, that's right. It's because this is a subtotal.
Wait,
This is the total.
okay,
This shouldn't have been in here.
okay,
Should have just
But
been
there's
total.
another
It
one
should
on
have
this.
said continued and total.
okay.
Okay,
So does that fix the whole general fund?
no.
No.
I don't know, in order, I don't think so. I think that would only make a difference. Well, it all depends. If you input this amount rather than this amount, it would make a $50,000 difference.
Is
And
that,
if you haven't input the
hold on one second, I'm wondering,
technology and the rest of it, it might.
if that, Cause I added all those social service, or the,
Well, let's just go and do all the rest of this, and then you can go through and do it.
okay,
But again, when you're putting that in, make sure it's the total of this page rather than the subtotal.
yeah.
All right.
So do you guys wanna do the IT budget, or do you wanna wait for Travis to be here? How would you like to do that?
You could probably chop some of it up.
You wanna try and, so it'd be B17 that would be on there.
What's the big software number for?
What page is that?
Huh?
Software, that's Dakota Programs, that's Tyler Technologies. I don't know what the increase is there. See if I
So
can,
those are annual rentals.
let's see if I can get Travis, if he
What page is
sent,
it?
the 17.
B17.
Are we doing a fiber lease now?
No,
I don't think so.
he puts that in there every time.
Okay.
Well, we could get rid of the 4 grams for county shop and the 32.50 for fiber lease then, couldn't we?
And I don't know, those sheriff's laptops,
Sheriff laptops on this year's budget, there are two options, A and B, new versus refurbished. The main difference is the new units come with a 5-year warranty. I have added Office 365 under the software line item. The county shop upgrade for the internet is added as well. And so then the,
Isn't that something that possibly gotten through DES?
Yes.
and that's Jamie's gonna look into those. The option A is the new laptops, 18,000. Option B is the refurbished, 7,500.
Have we found out yet if they actually need new computers?
He does because there's Windows.
7.
Oh,
You gotta upgrade to Windows 10, they're, Microsoft's not
Right.
supporting that stuff.
and
So where's Travis?
So is that 3
He's with
computers?
another client today.
$6,000 a computer?
They're them hardened ones, you know, that they supposed to be able to play
Drive a
basketball
truck
with.
over.
So was he aware of the budget meeting last 2 weeks ago?
Yes, there was an emergency server gone down last meeting.
It makes you wonder if you shouldn't just go buy a cheapie and buy more of them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You know, I don't know.
That certainly seems excessive for $6,000 for,
Just when a laptop is in a vehicle bouncing all the time, do they
Yeah.
fail regularly if they're not?
I don't know the answer to that, but I think the reason that it makes sense to do the hardened ones is because it takes so much time to set them up and get them
Sure.
onto the network and everything,
Mm-hmm.
that you spend the money in the labor, or you spend the money in the hardware.
Well. And if they fail some frequency, it's probably pretty inconvenient.
Right.
You can't access
I
all
don't
the
know, I mean,
information. you
I
need.
don't like that cost of those things, but there's probably not a better way. I mean, you could buy the refurbished ones and take your chances. But again, I don't know how frequently they fail.
and those only have, what, a 1-year warranty on them for the
Oh, I don't know.
refurbished? Or is there none?
Well, I bet there's some. I met Amber on the Mackville Road, I should have flagged her down and asked her.
Need you to sign this paper real quick.
Oh, no.
how much were the refurbished versus the new?
7,000 for 3 of them.
Versus 18 for 3 new ones?
Yeah,
And that's just with
the new ones have 5-year warranty, I don't know what the used ones have. Did it say? What they're refurbished?
Nope, he didn't say.
What information do they collect off of them?
Everything about you.
Yeah. Can they wait until they get to their office to do that?
I suppose not if they got somebody
If you
pulled
stop
over.
on the edge of the road.
I don't really know.
Thank you. Thank you.
They should go back to the old driver's license that I found in my dad's, they had.
Like a
punches.
Cedric?
Punch.
After your 5 punches or whatever, then you were done.
Then they kept it.
No, he still got it, it
Oh.
was no good.
I think we should put in for the refurbished ones and then still pursue the DES.
Refurbished ones, so. Great.
So is this a personal issue that Travis isn't here today? Is it, I mean, I've been a contractor for a lot of years and something like this, it's on the calendar and this is the 3rd budget meeting, I don't think he showed, I know he hasn't been the last 2. You would think that when we need the information, we shouldn't have to take a back seat to somebody else over this. I mean, maybe we better start looking for a different IT manager.
I think it was on me. I kind of assumed he knew that he had to come to the next meeting and didn't really say anything to him, asking him to be there. And so then I didn't get on his schedule.
You don't have to be his babysitter.
And I requested it the last,
Because we're just sitting here speculating on what to do.
Mm-hmm.
So we want him here on the 7th?
and that'll be your last budget meeting.
It's only one decision to make.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I don't know how much has been trimmed on here or not.
Well, so a lot of that stuff's fixed, so.
State evidently is increasing their,
Say that one more time.
I say the state IT evidently went up quite a bit this year, from 5,519 to 12,000.
No, that's just an estimate. We don't know what that is. Remember the previous year, we just used estimates. The only thing we know for sure is that in 19 we spent 56 million. And we won't know in 20 until we close out 20 what we spent. We can have an estimate of what we spent so far on that line item, state IT. Jamie?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna get out of this one. For state IT. Nothing.
Well, it's gotta be a fixed cost. Is it just one payment a year or
It
something?
might be.
So last year, that's actual.
Yep.
So why wouldn't we just put that in there?
Well, we're just wasting time here. Let's get in here and ask him.
Okay. Keep going then.
Okay. So that's all of the general fund. You guys have gone through everything. If you guys want to re-go through them, make sure I didn't.
No, we wanna run the numbers on it. I mean, you need to run all the numbers now that you have them and make sure that the levied amount comes close to the levied amount last year.
Correct.
If not, you're gonna have to go individually and see where the decrease is. Again, there's only three variables in it.
Right, yeah, yeah.
It's either the expenditures are way lower revenue or the
Carryover, yeah, yep. All right, so then we can go into Schedule C.
Didn't, but like the auditors, I think you had, it shows here still $3,000 for furniture.
Yep, you
Drop
guys approved that tentatively.
that budget. I thought we dropped the furniture thing. I thought there was desks elsewhere.
John wanted to drop it, so he said nay and Sean said nay. To tentatively approve that one.
You didn't alter the minutes, did you?
I didn't.
Well, I mean, tentatively means just that.
No, I don't.
Yes.
Let's go back to the auditor's budget.
Son of a gun! Auditor's budget B9.
Presented for approval. Again, I'll voice my objection to the $3,000 in office furniture.
I'll make a motion, we drop $3,000 in office furniture out of the auditor's budget.
Second.
Moved by Mark, seconded by Sean to drop the $3,000 out of the auditor's budget. Is there any discussion?
Well, I think we should give Samantha permission to take anything she wants from any other place in the courthouse. If you find office furniture you want, have Wayne's people move it for you, and you can, anything else you find anywhere, if you dare go in the old courthouse. Might have to have an escort. But there was some pretty nice stuff in the,
And I'm open to
in the
that
tax
in
directors.
any of the offices.
Any of them.
Any
There's
of the
tax
offices.
director's office had some really nice older, solid. So did the
Well,
state's attorney's office, didn't it? Over there, the state's attorney's desk was pretty, or did you take it?
No, I didn't take it, but man, I was only in there a half dozen times in those 2 years that we were in another office, so.
It's a solid, it's pretty nice. I mean, anywhere else you find it.
Do that.
This wasn't as easy as a light switch.
I'm not giving up on you, John.
No, I know you're not. Well, you don't have to give up yet. We haven't voted. It's not looking good for you.
What? What did you say?
I said it's not looking good for you.
No, it's not. No, it's not. No.
Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. John?
Nay. Oh, no, aye. What was the motion?
To drop it.
Drop it, yeah, aye.
Dan?
Aye.
Mark?
Aye.
Sean?
Aye.
Troy votes nay.
Just
Motion carries.
about confused me into approval.
I should have gave up, dang it. Keep going, keep going.
You would have talked for a few minutes longer, Samantha, but you would have more confused.
Getting close. Bad one, you gotta declare yourself out of order.
Alright, so schedule C.
Yeah, last time you thought it was a good idea.
Glad you've had some time to reflect.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, C's.
So it's the FAR and that there's-
Starts on,
C6.
right.
And there's not much in there. It is what it is, I guess.
And that balance is still there, correct?
Correct. Let me make sure of that before we go on. These.
Oh, you made the transfer there,
Excuse me?
you made the transfer there already. we calling the new fund?
I have it called Road Special Projects, and that's on C8.
Okay.
I redid that one for you.
So the FAR fund, we haven't used that in a number of years.
Mm-mm. Nope, all those got conjoined, and that's FAR. Yeah, at the end of 2019, it was there, but I don't have it in there at the end of June.
So it was transferred to the County Road and Bridge Fund.
Correct.
That's correct. And it has to stay there for another 2 years. But it should have, but the balance should be zero. It shouldn't
In FAR.
Yeah, but the balance, but it should be, right now it shows it has a balance.
Correct.
It shouldn't show that.
And that's in my liabilities. I have that. So then we'll need transfer.
In 19, it's
Out.
20, it should show a zero.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. We transfer out.
Sean made the motion to approve the auditor's budget and then he voted against it.
Did you?
I had to get the vote going.
Yeah.
I didn't
Have to allow people to make a choice.
Yeah.
We're in a society now of inclusion.
That's funny.
We're stuck in a quagmire.
Sean had made him, that wasn't up to his quota of motions.
John remembers it.
Where we at?
C7 road.
Yeah. So why don't you explain what you did, yours?
Okay, so last meeting you guys wanted to move the reserve into its own special fund. So if you will see on the estimated expenditures for 2020 at the bottom, it says the transfer out of $850,356.81. That is what you had in the reserve fund for 2020. I then moved that into C8, it's road special projects, so that then that would be out of there.
And that's an in and out account.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay. So now that leaves us with, in the county road and bridge fund, having to levy $475,000. If we want to give that up to the full 30 mills, we'll have to find another $125,000 of expenses, which I think should be into a reserve fund within the county road and bridge fund, an actual reserve fund. We're fixing this. You weren't around, Mark, but we've been battling with this balance in here because we treated the state, Senate, and House bill money as revenue rather than an in and out account.
Mm-hmm.
So it ended up exploding the county road and bridge fund exponentially because we used it over many years. We didn't use it all in 1 year, we used it over many years. This should fix that now. After this year, we should be a balanced budget, so to speak, on the county road and bridge fund. Whereas what we levy and what we take in, we will spend. And now we've set aside this $850,000, which is an accumulation of years and years of revenue that was left in that account,
Yeah.
in all three accounts. So,
And if we see money down the road, at least, same thing, we'll be able to put it into this fund.
Isn't this 850 as part of that outside contractor that we use for too, or is that in a different spot?
so the 850, I don't know what year, the state about 5 years ago came and wanted us to redo these funds. So we had 3 funds previously, we put them all into one. And then we started treating all the funds that came in there as revenue rather than treat them as an in and out account.
Sure.
And it screwed things up. So now we went back the other way with 2 funds rather than 3. So the outside contractor, all the other, everything, we were just trying to offset
Yep.
that paper revenue that we had in order so that we could
Yeah.
maintain the levy that the voters told us to maintain.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
So now you want me to add in a reserve within the roads budget?
Well, I don't know, that's just an estimate, I don't know, or you could add to the gravel fund, you can add, it doesn't matter where we are gonna add that, well, I don't know. What do you guys think? Where's it at?
C7.
Right here, C7B. So what did we cut?
You cut the Binford building.
Well, that's done, though, bar boat done.
He still wanted that for the bathroom, but you guys said to do that in this year's budget
Right.
and not next year's.
Right.
And then
13,000 from gravel.
Yeah, we cut gravel.
Okay. This looks like supplies were cut.
he cut that. You guys didn't. Yep.
Would be just as easy to add it to the gravel.
If you wanted just to do it into a reserve, then we can, within the year, we can transfer out of, or like use that reserve and transfer into different ones, so that.
We could transfer the reserve into the different, yeah, that would be fine. And then at the
And the
end,
reserve's empty now anyway, right?
Correct.
In this-
it doesn't, yeah, because that's empty. So
Yeah.
we could put this in the reserve and yeah, that would be fine.
So totally make it so that it work it backwards so that we match to 30 mils
Match the
and put the
mils.
rest
Match
into
30
the,
mils,
and
yes.
put the rest
If
into.
that's what you guys want.
Oh,
If
sure
you
thing.
think that we're obligated or been directed by the citizens to levy 30 mils, then we should do that. If not, then we can leave it the way it's at.
Their vote said so.
If Wayne was still here, he'd bring up the skid steer.
Yeah.
Well, maybe he's got different priorities now.
Yeah.
When you're talking gravel, that includes riprap, rock, all that sort of thing too.
Troy?
I don't know.
I would assume
I would think.
materials.
Building road
Yeah.
building materials.
But he does have chips and sand and asphalt
Yeah.
in different accounts, so.
See, so the gravel would be in addition to the gravel we have money allocated to spend this year, we have piles of gravel that
Yes.
are worth something.
Yeah.
So at some point, we gotta quit piling up gravel and put it out there. It was an easy way to put
Yep. Yep.
off budget and still have something
Yeah,
that
we
is,
prepaid.
that is always, yeah, that's
Yeah.
always worth something, so we.
Prepaid some piles,
Yep.
Yep,
and a lot of it just to have it. I mean,
right, yeah. It's something that doesn't deteriorate, I mean, in a pile it doesn't,
Right.
it's always gonna be worth
yeah,
something.
but we secured an inventory or a supply.
It's an inventory.
A supply.
Yeah.
I think reserve would be just as well as anything.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
And then at the end of the year, we can always transfer that, if we don't spend a reserve, we can transfer that balance if need be, to this other fund.
Right.
Yeah, okay.
Mhm.
So we're done with the road?
Yep, I'll work that one backwards and for you guys.
It will be used out of that eventually sometimes, so.
Right. Well, once it's in that in and out account, then it doesn't affect
Well,
our,
it doesn't mess the budget
our
up.
budget, no,
Yeah.
it's just there, it just, a balance is growing.
Yeah.
Okay, so keep going. That's C8. That's that road special project fund, like we were saying. Permits. Nothing.
That actually has a balance,
Mhm.
because we can't figure out how to spend it.
Yep. It can only be spent for some things.
Jamie had some.
Is that where we got the fines, overload fines?
Yeah, and actually, I suppose there are some other permits, or.
Yeah, there's some permits.
But evidently it's been growing for quite some time, seeing that. Oh, I guess not, it just stays there.
What's the bond payment in 2021 for the building? You must know that, don't you? Or do you gotta call Bank of North Dakota?
No, that should be in the request line.
Uh,
Yep.
Well, you just haven't populated it yet?
I didn't push them over,
Oh,
no,
okay.
because you guys didn't talk about anything outside.
Okay.
No. So if you guys are okay with me putting those numbers over into the final,
The permits?
no, we're skipped ahead to C10.
Oh, we did. I didn't skip. Oh, I see.
New courthouse tax increase, well, we're probably gonna make that bond payment.
Probably.
And that's that schedule. I got it from
Okay.
there. So it does go negative. If you see on the actuals for 2019, it goes negative just a few $100, $600. Or,
Yeah.
yep. So it goes negative, and that's because of we budget exactly how much I need, and it doesn't all come in, and so then I pay it out or whatever. So if we could just inflate that just slightly, I think that would be best, so that we don't get this
How much
negative.
from unpaid taxes that
Yeah,
makes it
yeah.
negative?
Yeah. And then some, I think it's like some fees and stuff like that for the whatever. So if we could just possibly just do a little bit into the miscellaneous or something.
How come the math is so screwed up on the bottom of the page there?
On the bottom of the page.
Yeah, he's talking the total expenditures, 155,000, revenues 2,000, and a balance of negative 3,500. Right, Troy?
These ones? Or these ones?
Actually, I was looking at 2021.
Well, yeah, it'll carry through to 2021. But it goes haywire in between 19 and 20.
So you, in 20, you think you're gonna make up $2,300 worth of last year's shortfall?
No, the 20 should, you have to add 157,000, $439.35 from the top. You have to add against that 155, and that's how she gets to $1,200 negative. It fell short by $1,200.
Oh, I see, I gotta move over a column.
Yeah. Yep.
I was like, I
That's-
didn't mess with the
No,
formulas.
no, it's right. It's just it's not total revenue. It's revenue over or under expenditure.
Right.
Yeah.
So we need to increase that a couple thousand more?
So like a 1% increase would be about 1,500 extra.
So you just need to put 5,000 in there for miscellaneous or something?
Yeah.
And that'll cover all the losses up.
Well, that's assuming that the miscellaneous is a extra.
Oops.
If it is, because if it had a purpose, it wouldn't be, if it had an assigned purpose, it wouldn't be miscellaneous, correct?
Let me look here, Dakota, because I think I said this to you guys last year, so I'm wondering if that's what that. Give me a minute.
I think you already took care of it with this miscellaneous. This miscellaneous should
It's just gonna
give us
be,
$3,000 extra
just
in the
gotta be a
fund,
little
which should
more.
cover what we're trying to do here. Correct?
I hope so. hold on one second, let me just
I'm not the only one that forgets what I did.
columns. Okay, so, yes,
Yeah,
Yes.
so we're good.
Sure, the 3,000 caught us up. It'll put us in the black next year.
And that must have been what she was thinking, because she didn't have it in 19.
Yeah, cause we had like a $600 shortfall in
Yep.
19 and then. $1,200.
yeah, we should be fine there. Okay, so if you do the clerk of court, I kind of spoke with you guys at the last meeting about moving this fund back into the general fund, because in 2019, we didn't get the revenue put into the special fund. It got put into the general fund. So that's why this is negative for the revenue. It got taken and put into the general fund. And so that's where that negative balance comes in, is because then at the end of the year, what I did is throughout the whole year, I kept like all the payroll benefits and stuff like that for this. I kept taking that out of general fund. And then at the very end of the year, I transferred what you guys had in for health insurance, retirement, FICA, and job service. And I just transferred 100% of that into the general fund to cover the general fund's portion of this. So it just makes it really complicated when you keep it out on its own. But if you guys are okay, I would.
So we didn't take it out of this fund.
This should be an in and out. The state pays the cost of the court.
Right.
So I didn't make up on my spreadsheets. I already have it so that it's
Out of the general.
yeah. And so I don't have it set up so that I know exactly what percentage it's coming out of the clerk of court. It makes it kind of difficult. So what I did is just at the end of the year, transferred 100% of what you guys budgeted for those line items and transferred them into the general fund. But there's no revenue actuals for 2019 within this special fund. It's in the general fund. So that makes the general fund's revenue more than what it should be for actuals in 2019.
Because you transferred at the end of the year.
I didn't do anything with the revenue
you didn't? Okay.
portion. I
I see.
only did it with the expense, what
I
we
see.
did
Got
for
it.
the health or retirement, FICA, and job service.
I got it.
So, on the audit, it does have this account in the hole because the revenue didn't get put into here.
Okay, we'll have to fix that then.
So do you want to fix that now and do
You
an
mean
amendment?
For
2021.
no, we don't fix it that, but we need to fix
2019.
2019. And Harold will catch that. Harold will fix that when he does the audit in 2023. But he should be able to give us the right, when he does the audit in
He'll
for
show-
19, he'll show us what needs to be done and we'll just approve all the changes.
Yep, he'll show you that it's in the negative or whatever, and then you guys
And
will
we'll
then
tell him to
transfer.
fix it. and-
Yep.
Okay.
So that's kind of why there's no actual revenues on that budget.
Okay.
911 coordinator, you guys did that one last meeting. So as long as everything looks fine to you. Flood control.
Flood or flood control?
Flood control. And then well, we're not there yet.
In flood, it's got a negative balance, but it's been closed we haven't used it.
What do we have to do? Do we have to wait 3 years on these ones, was it? Or?
Yes, I have to have them out for 3
3 years,
years,
right?
correct,
Yeah.
with no activity.
Right.
Yep. but we got,
We need to,
we got revenue and we did expenses in 2019 for this budget.
so, did we spend the money? Oh, yeah, we had expenses of,
Well, we transferred it out. In 19,
we transferred all the money out, transferred too much.
We transferred it double, is what it looks
Okay,
like.
so we need, in order to be able to close this thing, we need to make it whole first. So we need to put in, we need to levy, do we have any revenue from it this year? No. Or are we, did we have any revenue
Oh,
last
yeah,
year?
no.
No.
what's the revenue from?
I don't, it would be, I don't know.
Not a levy, is it?
You wanna know revenue, not expense.
Well, I don't think, we haven't had any expenses either. We put an expenditure there, but we transferred it out. I'm not sure what went in there. Not sure what happened.
So if we make it whole, then we gotta go 3 years beyond that to get rid of this stuff, right?
Not for anything that's not,
Well, as long as there's no revenue or expenses.
as long as there's no like tax money coming in, because somebody has 3 years to pay their taxes.
Yep.
And so then that's why we need to
It's gotta
keep
be
them.
inactive for
So
3 years.
let's ask Harold the question, can we close this when it has a negative balance? Because all that means is that we overspent this account and we used dollars, unallocated dollars out of the treasury to do it. Do we need to take money on the treasury to make this whole, to put it back in the treasury? Probably not.
Okay.
Ask Harold that.
Okay. Okay. C15, nothing, we had the balance, and I transferred that out. If you look at C16, we now have a flood 2019 fund. No activity yet, but that's what I was supposed to do, I guess. Wayne told me that we needed a 2019 fund.
Yeah, and we do.
So,
I mean, because there'll be money coming in.
Correct.
Yeah.
yeah. So I did the 2009, and I just renamed it to the 19. So you no longer have a 9. Next page is the C16 Human Services.
There's the 18.
There's the
cents.
18. Ending. Yeah, human services, no. Total fund. Human services should be 0.
16A. Right, yeah.
No, 16A, that's where the 18 cents is supposed to be. Human services 2, which was on page C18.
But didn't we agree to expenditures for,
Those are in the general fund.
General, yeah.
Okay, so then this should not balance. So human services too should not have a beginning balance, should not have debit, should not have credit, should not have a balance. It's zero.
Yeah.
What happened is it got cut off, and so then my fund totals were under that line, and so so your human or your CWB should be the 18 cents, and that's still in there. And then all those, yeah, like I said, all those expenses are in the general fund on that general expenses, the part B.
So this human services 2 deficit, that's gonna go away?
That's gone. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, you told us you fixed it.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. So human services, that's 02. Human services 2, that's good. Emergency. You guys usually just put a $5,000. There is that balance, but if we put that in this year's or next year's budget, then we have to do a budget amendment each year. So then if we just put this, 5,000, it makes it so that we don't have to do an amendment each year. And that's,
Yeah, because we won't spend that expenditure, and next year it'll go back to the balance ending in 2020 will be the $154,004.93, basically, yeah.
so if you want me to put in the 5,000 again,
As a miscellaneous expenditure.
correct.
You're just trying to keep the budget active.
Because we have to have something budgeted for it so that then we can use it.
So an active budget, yeah.
Yep.
Even though we don't use it, yeah.
Correct.
That's right.
So then our tax, nothing, that's been closed. Document preservation. That's where I could have got my desk.
That's what I was thinking. That was the best named special fund ever, RTAC.
RTAX, yeah.
My tax.
Yeah, I thought that. I looked at that forever. What does RTAX mean? And it's OUR, not R.
So C21, document preservation, you guys did that on last meeting. So if you guys are good there.
When that guy showed up, I seen Troy was talking about some validation certificate you should have gotten when they destroy documents.
Did you ask them guys about that?
The new people will.
Okay.
Yep. This is different, but yes.
It's documentation.
Document destruction.
The opposite of document preservation.
Yes. Veteran service officer, did that one. Should be good there. Oh no, we didn't do this one. Dennis doesn't ask for much.
No.
So so if you guys are okay with me just transferring over those numbers to the final appropriation.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
he got the raise. of
Correct.
course, and, yeah.
And he's buying a computer or something like that. Or was that last year?
This is, I don't think no, I think that was that was this year. We got his laptop this year. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm fine with what he requested.
Okay.
So you guys are?
He's pretty frugal.
He's pretty good.
I make a motion, we approve the veteran service officer requested 2021 budget. Right? Right now, all you have is a salary in there, correct?
Correct.
Second.
It's been moved by John, seconded by Sean to approve the request of the VSO for 2021 budget. Is there any discussion? Any discussion? Any further discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. John?
Aye.
Dale?
Aye.
Mark?
Aye.
Sean?
Aye.
Troy votes aye. Motion carries.
Okay. County Victim Advocate. This is that one that we're supposed to be sending, a portion of the court fees goes into this, and then we're supposed to be sending this to a outreach program.
Wasn't Jamie looking into that?
Yeah.
Same thing, we need to keep, so we just keep putting witness fees in there in order to keep it active, correct? 'Cause we can always amend it afterwards, if we find somewhere to send the money, we can do that.
And I think it's like we're supposed to like be sending it each year. It's supposed to be going out and it hasn't been going out.
I thought Jamie was gonna spoon feed that to whoever.
He was gonna do for the Valley City because that's where a lot of
Yeah, we're-
our people.
Well, didn't we actually do that one year, or a couple?
I don't think we.
It never
I think,
happened?
I think you guys budgeted to do it, but
Never happened.
so I can just put $1,000 in there again. You guys
Yeah,
are good with that?
Because it's still available,
Correct.
yeah. I mean, it would be available as an in and out fund, so.
Jamie just needs to
He needs to find one.
request it and where he.
Give me a voucher and then it, yep. Special assessments, if you guys are okay with me moving those. And then county agent, you guys took care of that last meeting. So we should be good there.
I wasn't done talking about it, but it cut me off.
Okay, do you wanna keep talking about it?
No.
County agent special fund, we didn't request anything, or there was no request there. No final appropriations. Do you guys would like me to put something in there?
Same thing, I bet, so you can keep it open, you better.
Okay.
It actually gets used,
Put an
not a
expense-
lot, but there's some stuff.
Put an
comes-
expense in there to match the balance, or close.
Close to the balance,
I
so you
suppose.
want about $500 in there?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, that's what we did, looks
Oops.
like what we did half of it, I guess, we used some of it.
Mm-hmm, yep,
Yeah.
okay. Chem hazard,
Is that the same deal?
Mhm.
alcohol monitoring, are you guys okay with me moving those numbers?
Just with the scam bracelets and stuff coming
Yep,
around.
and the breath tubes and stuff like that, yep.
So is this what Wes requested? So,
Do the people that get them have to pay for them? Is that
Yeah,
how that works?
that's why it's in, you know.
okay.
Not breath tubes, but, yep.
I wanted the job for a while, I thought they were paying somebody to sit in a bar and watch people drink. Really not.
Sounds better than the weed officer.
The weed control budget.
Doesn't want people to smoke weed.
You guys took care of that one on last meeting, so we should be good there.
I'm just gonna make sure there's no office furniture in there.
Look closely.
Why?
Snuck it in.
When it says see page 29A, I get a little
A transfer.
suspicious. Yeah.
I wonder if we can, 20,000's a hell of awful lot of Tordon.
Yeah.
That's the one that I asked Wayne how much, and he
Yeah.
thought probably 20. The
That seems-
other years they bought
just
bulk,
a-
and so it lasted them for years and years. And so just now they're starting to have to purchase
20,000,
some.
that seems like a lot to spring
Tordon's
this
going
county.
like $80 a gallon, right?
I don't even think that.
I think it was at the last meeting you guys approved.
Yeah, he talked about it. We approved this thing.
Tentatively.
No, we approved a voucher, didn't we?
At the last meeting you
Yeah.
did. Yep.
That's about
I can
Yeah,
go back
for-
and look.
for 19 or 20. I
Yeah,
think.
for what they bought this year.
Right.
But if you sprayed a quart of Roundup per acre, it buys an awful lot of Roundup.
Sure does.
Or Tordon or whatever.
Of course, I think they just spray anything that's yellow. It's clover, prairie coneflowers, sunflower.
Yeah, it's about $80 a gallon.
How many ounces do they put on the kill leafy spurge?
if you're going full rate, cost is no option, I think they'll put a quart down, don't they?
Yeah, an acre, yeah, but I mean, man, I've never seen that.
I've never seen anybody do it. Cause nothing will
Nothing,
grow there.
it'll kill everything.
Yeah.
The last meeting, you guys approved a 4,700 bill to Finley Farm Elevator for that weed chemical.
But I mean, Dale's right, that's a lot of tort on it.
Yeah.
And I don't know if they use anything else.
Maybe 2,4-D. but
Should
that
use some
would offset the-
salvo or something with it. 2,4-D ester.
You wanna cut that back to 10?
Yeah, I think so.
10?
Well, the estimated expenditures were just about 10 for this year.
Right.
Is that a motion?
Taking that.
Yeah, I mean, a mini bulk, 125 gallons of it is not $10,000. I mean, that's a lot of tort on. Lots of loads.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd move we cut the chemical appropriation for the weed down to, from 20,000 to 10,000.
Second.
Moved by Dale, second by Sean to cut the chemical appropriation in the weed budget from 20,000 to 10,000. Is there any discussion? Any discussion? Any further discussion? John?
Aye.
Dale? Mark?
Aye.
Sean?
Aye.
Tri votes aye.
Can we add 4,000 in the miscellaneous for office furniture?
It's already there, 3776. Equipment.
Next page is Leafy Spurge.
Regional corrections, we must have done that last meeting.
That's the one we gotta mix up with that we're trying to fix.
Yeah, if we can just put a hold on that
Yeah.
one. I need
Yeah,
to
that-
dive into that a little bit more and
Yep.
figure that all out.
What's the leafy spurge?
Leafy Spurge, I don't know. I don't know. I wanted to move that into the weed because I don't know the difference.
Is that one of those deals we're just waiting 3 years to, or doesn't that matter?
I don't
know
think-
why it isn't in the weed control.
Yeah, I don't.
Was this spin-off of the weed control
I
I bet it had something.
or
to
from
do
reimbursement
with
from the
WAP.
state?
I bet it had something to do with the insects.
Or before
When they had
the,
that program going, I would think, maybe not, I don't know.
or maybe the original LAP or TAG
It could-
programs or
But,
something.
so, remind us then to
do you want to just do that now?
transfer, well, let's see, if we transferred in 19, when we do that budget, that'll throw everything off going forward.
Transfer it
Right
out
now.
in 2020,
Yeah.
2020.
I would
Transfer
make
out.
a motion-
Transfer it out the end of the year and then just leave it.
No, right
I
now, so
wanna
she
do
can
it
make the
right now.
change, so she can make the change, so it's reflective in the budget right now before we do it. So I make the motion, we transfer the balance from Leafy Spurge of $1,415.38 to the weed control budget. For 2020, effective immediately.
Second.
Moved by John, seconded by Sean to transfer the balance out of the leafy spurge budget into the weed control budget effective immediately. Is there any discussion? Any discussion? Any further discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. John?
Aye.
Dale?
Aye.
Mark?
Aye.
Sean?
Aye.
Troy votes aye. Motion carries.
All right.
Domestic violence, I don't remember what we do with that. Is that the same deal? You put something in there so you can use it if you need it?
I don't know.
I could use a little money out of it.
Well, we can just let it sit there and you can put an expenditure in there of $35 to match the balance.
Is that what you want me to do?
Well,
Is that out of court fines?
Oh, it's
too?
fines.
Court fines, right?
Oh.
It's an in and out, remember, these are all in and out budgets.
Yeah, I didn't see that.
Should we just leave it? That's what you guys
Yeah.
did last year.
Maybe leave it. Go ahead.
County
Um,
loan,
Loan, all those ones you guys closed them all out. So now we should be on Schedule E. So we're on E3, Nelson Griggs Health District. You guys will have your budget hearing with her later on. They're requesting the same thing that they have the other years. So if you guys are okay with me putting the 33,000 in there. Yes. Okay. Historical Society, they get the set mills. Would you like me to work it backwards and make sure that they get that, or do you guys want? Because whatever you guys put in the budgets, that's what I put into Dakota programs. So if a mill comes in higher than that, I'm using what you guys have put in the budget.
they don't request.
They do.
Yeah,
They've
yeah.
given me a request, but they,
Yeah.
I mean, it's huge. And then it's, we get
So then you'll have to work it backwards.
work backwards. Okay.
We've kind of trained them to do that.
Right.
Because we've always given them the maximum, and so to alleviate them having to do anything, they just put in a big number and.
Yep.
make up for it.
So if senior citizens is the same way.
Same way.
Yep.
So they.
And actually, senior citizens, I didn't send that out because there's 4 different clubs. They get a set 4 mills. I didn't.
Sure.
I didn't have them fill out
Sure.
a budget.
Fair is the same way.
You guys discussed fair at the last meeting, so they should be good. JDA's no longer. Water board.
We did that.
Yes, you did that. I don't have any revenues. So that's just an expense one.
They didn't request anything?
The water board, they requested expenses. They didn't put anything in the revenue line.
Well, I don't think, we don't get to use their revenues against the money we give them.
Okay.
They're kind of another hybrid. Remember, once they get the money, they can show us what their expenses are and what their revenues are, but we don't get to use their revenues against the expenses.
Okay. But they're not
We're not
a,
gonna levy anything for them?
you guys are
$48,000.
They're gonna
40,000.
levy the same, but they don't have to,
40.
Oh, they don't have to provide us with the budget.
well, they do.
No,
but
they did.
But they don't have to, if they have money left over, we don't.
Oh, it stays in their check. Okay, now I'm.
We don't have the clawback option.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Ambulance. Their
We're
sets.
gonna levy how much?
For water management,
48.
I have 40.
40. 40?
40.
What? Well, I'm looking in the wrong place.
Look
Oh,
at the
40,
very,
I see.
Yeah.
very bottom.
The expenditures are equal 48, so they did have some revenue somewhere.
They had revenue in.
balance, or will it?
We showed revenue in for coming in for this year, but I don't have anything for last year or for next year.
All right, we'll leave it for a second.
And then ambulance, I'll work that one backwards too.
Yeah.
Library, you guys did that one, so that should be okay. And then you guys are
We'll just leave it as it's been done.
Okay is an overstatement.
and then you guys are through.
Cool.
So I will look at regional corrections.
Yeah. When you get it done, just send it to me so I can.
Perfect. And then
Travis.
general.
Travis.
And then IT. Okay. Okay.
Steve has a recommendation from IT.
And then, as far as the salary increase, I'll just give you guys that survey
Yep.
and we can discuss that more at the next meeting. Anything else that you guys need from me as far as budget?
with the salary increase, we better also show the increase in the benefit package also with that.
That'll kind of work it.
Yeah.
Yep.
What's Andy Purse doing?
For retirement.
That's another thing, we have to pay 3% of ours, you get all yours paid.
Retirement. Mm-hmm.
Is a premium going up for an Andy Purse?
I haven't heard anything.
For the health insurance?
No,
No.
Or for
the
retirement?
For
Nope, thank you.
For the defined benefit.
Nope, that should, I think that's the same. Hasn't gone up.
next on the agenda.
There's only one bid for that pickup, is that correct?
Correct.
Urban vote.
You got a whole box to put in there.
There's one bid for $1,000 from Roger Larson for that pickup.
I would make a motion, we reject the bid and give the pickup to the road department.
You want the road department to get rid of one of theirs, or just collect them?
I think we can collect them.
It's been moved by John that we reject the bid for $1,000 for the 2006 Dodge Ram and transfer that vehicle to the road department. Is there a second to that motion?
I'll second.
Go ahead.
Mark, Sean,
Which one? Which one?
is there any discussion?
John.
Is there any discussion? Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. John?
Aye.
Dale?
Aye.
Mark?
Aye.
Sean?
Aye.
Troy votes aye. Motion carries. NDSU extension, nothing big. That whole process goes awful slow in the big fat bureaucracy. But I think they're getting close to giving him a written offer. There must have been a verbal, because he will be here Monday morning at 10 o'clock to look at the facility and drive around and kind of kick the tires. So they invited us to come if we can. Now, of course, I work so far out of town, I don't know if I'll see what's going on that day.
I'll try to get there.
Okay,
I had a question though.
okay.
We authorized his salary, the offer. We didn't authorize the hiring yet. We didn't give away our right to interview and our right to approve his hiring. We just authorized offering him the salary.
That's already been done, John.
That's not how it's been done in the past. When they've had a candidate, they've brought the candidate to us for interview and approval.
Really?
Yes.
I don't think so.
You and I are on the interview
Yeah.
prior, but not at the meeting. You and I interviewed county agents with,
Maybe.
Yeah. Yeah. It's all, and then you came back to the county commission and gave your recommendation and we approved the hiring.
Well, you were on the
I was
interview.
on the interview with him though.
He failed to bring it back with a recommendation. I think the horses
Well,
were
they,
out of the
actually,
barn.
there was a committee and the
Oh, the committee
Yeah.
voted to hire?
approved it, yeah.
But we didn't vote this last meeting to hire.
Oh, I
voted
think we
to-
did.
No, we didn't.
I think so.
No, we didn't. Read that motion. No, we did
Yeah.
not.
To offer.
We made an offer of a salary. We didn't vote to hire. Read the motion.
Well, he's not an employee of the county. We approved his salary based on his qualifications. He's an NDSU employee.
It's not the way we've done it before.
Anyway, he's coming to take a look. Old courthouse, new courthouse.
The NDSU lady was here this afternoon. She said that it was going to take about 2 hours for her to kind of go around the I let her into the old courthouse. She was going to go through, do some measurements so that she can get a contract put together. She was here maybe half hour, not even, and left. So I'm not really sure what that means. But we went downstairs in the basement, and the mold is bad. It's hard to even breathe. So what she said is that she doesn't feel comfortable letting a student go in there with it being like that. She would like for us to open up windows and doors, kind of let it air out for a few days before anybody goes in there.
But do they need into the basement?
They said that they need to measure everything,
Oh,
is
wow.
what she said.
That's where the old jail used to be.
Oh, I know, I've been down there.
Yeah.
But I'm sure it's a stinky mess. I
Oh,
mean,
absolutely, just where a basement is.
Right, with no power for 2 years.
Mhm. So I'm kind of hoping that maybe she kind of gets it to us pretty quickly. It didn't sound like it was going to take her very long to get us something, so hopefully I'll have something for you by the next meeting.
Okay.
I'll put a mask on, go spray 50 Hilux in water down there if you want me to, and then clean it right up. If that's something you wanna, well, we don't have to decide that now.
No, they should probably bring a decent mask, you know, like those ones with the canisters on them, so they don't breathe that
Well, we
stuff.
deal with this out at our house at the farm all the time, and about once a month, we go down the basement and spray half water, half Hilux. Last fall, my son did a mold test, and there was less mold in the basement than there was upstairs, and there was less in the house than there was outside.
No, that was always the mold tests that were done in the old courthouse.
Yeah.
It was always more outside than in the courthouse, but we had to get rid of the courthouse because it was moldy,
Yeah.
kept outside.
The only thing about it, I'd like to see the grounds around the old cabin. If we could cut the trees down that are growing up against them, and the dead one that's behind it, get that out of there and cleaned up. Or next to the sign, the grass weed whacked around the little sign too. Clean it up a little bit over there.
I know some people have been stopping in there and looking at the cabin and stuff like that. So.
Do we have we said, you know, not to spray Roundup like around the trees or anything like that, so you don't have to weed whack around these trees? And in my yard, I spray Roundup around all those, so I don't have to weed whack. I mean, is that I would be in favor of him spraying around those trees and around the buildings and that sort of thing.
I won't look that close.
You know?
But you certainly should clean up around the old cabin.
Yeah, yeah.
Do you wanna mention that?
I will.
Anything else, new courthouse, old courthouse?
The chandelier is getting, they've cleaned it with a toothbrush. And it's getting a coat of paint, so I would think we should be seeing it here again
What color is
this
it?
fall. It'll be white.
Okay,
It was kind of pink after they cleaned it. So,
future business?
without a doubt.
Future business, hopefully that Carla with, that's doing the sales ratio study should have that to the state. Hopefully within a few days, I should have some information for you. Hopefully we'll have some information for you at the next meeting, and you guys can close tax equalization at that time.
I hope we didn't give that pickup away too soon. Maybe the social services could have used it instead of a new vehicle.
They got a new one.
I know they did.
No, the road department, they got some pretty good pickups.
They do.
And they'll just keep fixing it.
Yep.
Well, the engine can't have that many.
something and it was changed at 68, I think.
That engine is that old? Got that many miles on it? Oh, that surprises me. I wouldn't have guessed it.
I was thinking it's closer to 100,000 that we put that in. Moving adjourn.
Been moved by Sean, then we adjourn. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Dale. All in favor, say aye. Post same sign. Motion carries. Meeting adjourned at 4:40 PM, July 24th. Next meeting will be August 7th at 2:30 in this room.